December 13th. 12 more days till Christmas 2020. And I'm doing this weekend wrap up. What I want to do is talk about all the dance events, all the things that we went through this past week. Give you my thoughts, give you on the way I think about things, and kind of just touch upon things a little bit deeper. Okay? And maybe some of the dance news that's been going on. Okay, so if you don't know, we're gonna talk a little bit about first. We're gonna talk a little bit about the upcoming Olympics, which is in the not the winter one, but the 2024 one that's coming up. And if you guys didn't know, I'm gonna show what ESPN had put out. That break-in is gonna be in there. So I'm gonna give you my thoughts, the pros and cons about what I think, and for you guys too. You guys that are out there right now, if you're watching me, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch and Facebook, drop it in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about the upcoming Olympics, and also some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. All right. So let's get right into it, shall we? Here we go. I'm going to share this real quick so you guys can see. This is out of ESPN. You guys should see this, ESPN.com. And this was written December 7th. So within this week, it talked about, so right here, this gets me. Break dancing becomes an official Olympic sport on Monday. So for those of you who have studied, right, from the pioneers, you know that true b-boys hate that word, break dancing. It gives you it kind of gives you a cringe when you hear break dancing. All right, so I'm the same way. I hear it, and it was always breaking or b-boying or b-girling, but mostly breaking when I hear it. Now, anyways, let me talk a little bit about what I think. The pros and cons, right? And obviously, the pros is pretty evident that people, when it's in the Olympics, obviously the whole world gets to see it, right? So that's definitely a pro. However, think of it as a sport. Yeah, it is like a sport in the sense that you could compete, but then it's not so clear as to like 100-meter dash, right? It's very clear there's going to be a winner. Because dance is such an art form, it's really hard to judge one art versus another, right? So in a sense, it's really difficult, and it kind of reminds me of when there's figure skaters, right? I think there was controversy back in the 80s and the 90s, especially you have biased judges. So I'm really, really curious to see how the scoring and all that stuff is gonna be. So in that sense, I'm worried. I just don't know how it's gonna be. Hopefully it's gonna be done correctly. I don't know who's really involved in if they're gonna have judges selection or whatnot. I just remember a talk back I want to say almost 10 years ago. Wiggles, Big Brother Wiggles. There was a discussion in Oakland, and somebody brought up, hey, possibly even 10 years ago, people thinking like, hey, is it possible? Let's try to get b-boy breaking into the Olympics, and it sounds like a great idea, right? And some of the pioneers, such as Wiggles, they weren't really sure at that time. I don't know, I haven't spoke to Wiggs since then, but maybe he's changed his mind. I don't know. Wiggs, if you change your mind, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think, because from what I gathered before, it really makes sense what you said back then, which was when it becomes a sport like gymnastic, right? Then people's gonna start judging like, ooh, this person, has his toe is pointed straighter than another person, so he gets higher points. Like, do you judge on how pointy your toes are, how straight your lines are? I just don't know. And when he brought it up at the time, it really made sense that it is something that it really needs to be dig deeper into. So in that sense, if you only judge breaking as a sport, the artistic side kind of goes away, right? And I'm just very curious how they're gonna do the artistic side, right? Do you get to choose your own music, or if you're battling somebody, if it's one on one or two on two or team on team, do they all have to use the same music? And it's the criteria is it's going to be very interesting. That's what I have to say. Okay, but of course, again, on the positive side, it's going to get notoriety. More and more people is going to see that. But again, to categorize it as a sport, man, I don't know. It's breaking is an art form. Dance is an art form. So if you're gonna put here's the thing. If you're gonna put breaking in there, okay, again, I love breaking, but what about tapping, right? If you look at some of the OG, the original, some of the tappers way back in the day, they were very acrobatic. They were doing crazy stuff. I mean, they were head spitting back then, right? They were doing b-boy moves before b-boying was even b-boying. Okay, so what about tapping? Why can't you put that in the sport, in the Olympics as well? I don't know. Maybe there's no money in there. I'm curious, guys. Let me know. Put it in the comments or put it in the chat. Join in on this discussion. I'm super curious to see what you guys think. Let me switch this out. I'm not really good with this right now. So there you go. I'm back here now. So let me know, guys. Let me know what you guys think. All right. What about tapping? Okay. What about popping? Popping is freaking hard too, right? You could put some acrobatic stuff in there. I mean, today's popper, they're doing some crazy stuff too, right? So maybe popping should be in the Olympics. I don't know. Locking for sure. There's crazy acrobatic tricks in locking as well. So why can't locking be in there, huh? Tell me. What do you think? I think so. But yeah, okay. Let's maybe it's one step at a time, right? Maybe we should, bring b-boying, bring breaking into the Olympics first. Maybe that'll open up doors for all the other street styles. Maybe, huh? So let me know what you think. All right. I'm gonna move to a different. I'm gonna start recapping what we did this past week. All right. So let me bring up the Chrome browser, and I'm gonna show you guys my YouTube page. So for those that are on YouTube, you already know this, but for those that haven't been onto my YouTube page, it's youtube.com/newstudios.com. So I'm gonna go over these videos. These are the videos that we done this past week, and I'm gonna start with we did a lot of interviews, right? Last week we started with Anna Sorrell, legendary Culture Shock alumni and also director and all that stuff. So she gave knowledgeable, mad knowledge right there. Okay. We also did throughout the week, almost, I want to say through Monday through Friday, every night. I did popping drills for beginners. All right. So we're going to continue that. So starting Monday, anybody that wants to get into popping, this is for beginners. Again, if you already pop, it don't matter. It's not like you can't join, but I'm going at a slower pace, drilling. So we're gonna repeat, training our muscle. All right. So we did that, and last Monday I taught at the Get Down. So every Monday night I'm gonna teach a Get Down. So I'm gonna live stream that onto YouTube, so you guys could check out how the class goes. Okay. And then got another interview with my boy Cliff. So learn about his story, the Roughnecks, how he became, Mind Tricks and become an instructor and so forth from there. Then we did more drills, right? And then my boy Chaz we went about his stories, how he was here from San Francisco because of the military. He went over to the East Coast and brought some of that energy over there and back here. And he created groove mechanics, locking pillar here in the Bay Area. Okay. Then of course the next interview was my boy J Rock, right, talking about his story and his history with Style Element. Okay. legendary breaking crew out of the Bay Area. Okay. Then of course, Reggie, Jam Patrol, boy, there was so much history there. I was, it was a pleasure for me. It was awesome for me to hear all that stuff. Okay, but I do want to get a little bit deeper into some of the tips that all my guests had said. So the first tip I want to mention is let me get this back out of here. Sniper Game, hello. If you're on chat, say what's up. Ooh, I didn't even notice here. All right. Who we got that's on YouTube? Is that No? Yeah, you said you didn't hear about the Olympics thing, but I think it's similar to something like future. Figure skating. Figure skating, part art form, part technical proficiency. Exactly. I think so. And like, figure skating and those things are, it's so hard to judge, right? There's the technical aspect and there's the artistic aspect. I'm just so curious to see how that's gonna play out, right? Who's gonna be the judge, right? Are we gonna have the same judges? Are we gonna have judges from different countries? I suspect it's gonna be something like that, right? But then again, man, I don't know. There's gonna be controversy. I'm sure there's gonna be controversy. Even now, right? Even now, all the battles that you see, whether it's the big battle of the year, B-Boy Summit back in California, Just Debut, all these big ones. There's always controversy, right? But hey, who knows? Let's see. You said, hey man, it's always been subjective with judges. It's been interesting who they're gonna pick as judges for sure. Completely agree. And my thought was this, right? My thought is always like, okay, if you're gonna bring b-boying in, tapping, to me, the tappers, they're sick. I don't know why tapping doesn't get that much love. Okay, but if we're talking about breaking, the locking is from the same era, right? Locking, they get just as acrobatic. I'm curious to see even ballet, right? These ballet dancers are incredibly talented as well. They do some tremendous tricks, right? One of the things I think would be kind of interesting is if we're doing ballet, right? Maybe you can have a contest to see how many the most pirouettes. I mean, that is an easy, clear cut, right? Clear cut winner. A person who could do like 20 pirouettes, beats a person who only does 18, something like that, right? So as far as ballet, that's easy. Or the person who leaps the highest, I don't know, something. Or this is on a side note. Popping, I was always thinking with popping, if you can have somebody like put a electroscope, to see how fast they flex their muscle or something like that. I don't know. That would be so amazing, right? I would be so curious to see how fast Poppin' Pete does it, or some of the great dancers out there. So, anyways, this is more like for my curiosity. No, you said good points about ballet dancers. Don't they have fancy schools with entrance exams? Somebody's got to get evaluate those moves, right? Probably. Much respect to ballet dancers as well. I'm definitely not a ballet dancer. I see ballet just as hard. I mean, they train probably even harder, but it's so structured. So anyways, what was I talking about, guys? Okay. So guys, this is Sunday wrap up, right? So my mind's kind of running out back and forth and stuff. I just want to spend time right now to chat with every single one of you guys and just recap my thoughts about what went on, with me and my channel throughout this week. One of the things I really want to talk about is the advice, some of the advices that were given. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly take a look at my notes real quick. Okay, I'm gonna jump back and forth. However, I wanna mention this right now. Let's go back to this interview right here. I'm not gonna play the whole interview, obviously, but this is an interview with Reggie Jam Patrol. Now, Reggie, let's see, let's bring it over here. Is it loading up? Come on,
Their
YouTube.
house. I
Okay, there you go. So this is Reggie, and one of the things that I always ask my my guests, these dancers, is what are some of the great advices that you've seen, that you heard, that you think are great advice? Because if you think they're great advice, they're probably great advice for other people as well. Okay, so let me take a look at my notes here real quick. So Reggie said, I remember. He said, "Don't think." One of his, I want to say his mentor or his teammate, somebody told him, "Hey, when you're performing and when you're doing all this stuff, don't think." Okay, that's good advice for him at the time. However, I don't want everybody to say, "Oh, okay, Reggie said don't think." So, whenever I go on a show, whenever I do a show or a rehearsal, whatever, I shouldn't think. I'm not thinking that. I don't think that's what he meant. Okay, what he meant was he has been practicing a lot, and he wasn't sure about his practice. So when it comes time to do the show, don't really think too much so you don't worry. That's what I gather from it. All right. It's not that if you haven't practiced and you don't know your stuff, just don't think about it and go perform and go mess up. I think what he was saying is when he says don't think, it's get to a point, practice so much to a point that you don't even have to think about what you're doing. Does that make sense? It's like practice so much that it's a habit. It's second nature to you. Okay? Get to that point where everything is natural. So that when you're dancing, whether you're performing or you're getting down, freestyle, whatever, it's just a habit. It's natural. So you'll feel the music. You're not thinking about, did I do it right? Because every time you think, meaning you're trying to recall. Okay, thinking is like trying to recall. I think that's what he's trying to say. Okay, don't try to memorize. Don't try to be like, wait, did I do it like this? Did I do it like that? Because when you think like that, it's gonna show, right? So Reggie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what you're trying to say. And the reason why I want to point that out is because it could be taken the wrong way, right? If you're a new dancer, if you're a beginning dancer, and you're listening to this, you're like, oh yeah, Reggie said don't think, so I could just go and do whatever I want. I don't think that's what he's saying. All right, so I just want to make sure we're clear on that. And oftentimes these advice, I have to make sure that we put it really into context, right? Because an advanced student hearing an advanced advice means something different than a person who, a beginner hearing that advice, and he or she might take it differently. Okay, let me know if you agree, right? Drop in the chat. Yes, I agree. No, I don't agree. Siege, you're full of whatever it is. It's all good. This is just us talking, right? All right, I got a comment here from Kron. The more I think, the worse I dance. So I'm with you. There you go, Kron. So yeah, you're probably an advanced dancer, intermediate dancer. You probably think you probably danced for a while before, right? So when you think again, let me know what does it mean to think when you dance? What do you think about, right? What do you think about? Do you think about? I'll tell you what I think about sometimes when I'm dancing. If I'm at a new place, I'm nervous. Okay, so it doesn't matter how long you've been dancing for. We all kind of get it. But the more you do that, the quicker that feeling goes away. But that feeling never is zero. You know what I mean? So anytime I'm at a new place or new faces, there's always that little uncertainty, like, oh, like I'd never been here before. I wonder what it's like, right? So if I'm dancing, there's always a part of me that goes, maybe there's a little doubt. Does that make sense? So that's the thinking part. But if I focus, if I relax and try to focus on enjoying the music and not trying to impress somebody, right? And that's another thing sometimes when we think, we're always thinking, oh, what do I need to do to impress somebody? That is when we get into trouble, okay? So, Kron, if you agree with me, cool. If you don't, add it in. I think, again, I want to open this for discussions here. So drop that in the chat, drop that in the comments right there, okay? All right. Again, guys, if you are on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and join in on the chat. Let me know what's up. What's up? Am I able to see this? Yeah, we could see this. I see the chat from No. I see the chat from Kron. We got the New Get Down. We got Blind Boy. So make sure, drop it in. Let me know where you're chatting from as well so I could give you a quick shout out. All right? Okay, so I went over what Reggie said. Now, let's go and look at what I'm going chronologically backwards. So Reggie was the last interview. Before that was J-Rock. Again, guys, J-Rock Style Element, incredible dancer, teacher as well. Okay, father, just a great dude. Okay. So what I remember from his interview, one of the things he says, it's like I asked him, what advice, right? He said, and you guys all probably heard this before, dance like nobody's watching. And I hear that all the time, right? I hear that a lot. And I think it's great advice. But then if you don't take it correctly, it could be kind of bad advice. How do I mean? Okay. So you guys all understand. Okay. It's good advice because what does it really mean? Dance like nobody's watching. I don't know. You guys tell me. Drop it in the chat below. Let me know what does that mean to you when you hear somebody say, hey, dance like nobody's watching. So I'll tell you what I think it is, all right? Let me put this up. Yeah, there you go. What I think when somebody says dance like nobody's watching, it kind of goes back to almost like don't think, right? Don't try to impress anybody. Just dance for yourself. Dance and enjoy the music, okay? But there's a key, though. You have to enjoy the music. You have to know how to dance, first of all. And what does that mean to dance? To be on beat. So if you don't dance on beat and you say, hey, somebody gave me a great advice and dance like nobody's watching, does that mean you should just dance off beat? No, I don't think so. Tell me if you agree or disagree, okay? If you hear a great dancer, right, like J-Rock, right? If J-Rock says, hey, I heard on Teacher's interview and J-Rock says dance like, nobody's watching, and when nobody's watching me, I just do whatever I want, then that's cool, right? No, if you're on beat, that's not cool. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if you agree or disagree. Always be on beat, because if you're not on beat, period, you are not dancing. You're just moving around. That's what I think. Again, feel free to disagree. Kron, let me see. I'm reading your messages. This is my dance first told me to turn off all the lights, play music, and don't move your body until it moves itself. Always like that. Turn off the lights. When you turn off the lights, it's almost like closing your eyes. And I've done that before. When you close your eyes, it's really cool because you're really into it, right? You're kind of in your own space. It really allows you to kind of block off everybody. Don't move until it moves itself. I think what that means is when you hear the music and the music gives you a certain feeling, right? And usually for me, when the music has a really nice beat, it just makes my body want to move to that beat. So I think that's what you're saying, and I totally agree with that. Okay, that's a great way to start. So I completely agree with that, Kron. All right, you said, yeah, the trick she used to think less. It's a trick she used to think less, and it worked for me. Okay, sorry, couldn't read right. Yeah, it's a great trick. It's a great trick. It's a great technique. It's a great technique. Okay, guys, but be careful with that, right? And obviously, if you got dangerous stuff around, don't close your eyes and don't turn the lights off and get yourself in trouble. Of course, that's not what we want. But the idea is to just kind of zone in and get into that zone, right? It's almost like a meditative state, if you will, right? Meditative state. Get into that meditative state. All right, guys. Moving forward. Actually, okay. Let's finish this, and I want to go back to the. I want to go back to the. What was I talking about? Oh, the breaking thing. Okay, but let's finish this. Okay. Another one. Be you, and this one came from the interview with Arnell. For those that don't know Arnell, let me quickly go back to our interview. This is right here. If you don't know him, you should probably know the Kinjas, right? So he's definitely associated with the Kinjas, Culture Shock, Jabberwocky family. Anyways, Arnell's full of knowledge, full of positivity, man. This guy, every time I see him, he never stops smiling. So it's always great to see Arnell. Anyways, what was his advice? He said and this is actually through from Don Campbell. So go ahead and watch the interview if you haven't. But this is where Arnell talks about how he got advice from Don Campbell, Don Campbell. He said, "Be you." Right? So what happens is when you first start learning, you're learning all these techniques, you're learning all these stuff. This is what we think. There are times to think, guys. When we say don't think, we don't mean never, never do that. Sometimes you want to think. You want to think like, okay, right now the wrist twirl is here, and then the point and stuff like that. There are times to think, and there are times not to think. Okay, so it's not don't think forever. Think sometimes. You got to think sometimes, not never. So anyways, there are times you don't think. So what he was saying is he saw Don Campbell, and sometimes you just have to let go and be you. What does that mean, guys? What does it mean to you when somebody says be you? Let it go and be you. What it doesn't mean is be you that when you don't know how to dance, right? If you just started dancing, and what is you? Well, what I am right now is I'm not a dancer, so just be myself and not dance. No, that's not what it's saying, right? Be you as in like, what's your character like? What do you like to do? Do you like to, be funny? Do you like to, what else besides be sad? I don't know. Like, do what you feel like when the music's playing. And usually sometimes, most of the time, as lockers and poppers, the songs are funky, sorry. And it makes you feel funky. And that's how you be you, right? You got that style. Like a lot of poppers, they're styling, dude. They're doing poses and things like that. So that's how I perceive when they say be you. Don't think so much. Again, all of these advice they have a theme, right? They're all kind of related. Don't think so much, and don't try to recall like, hey, what did the teacher say? Did the teacher say to do this? And the teacher say to lean this way and stuff like that. That's where you think and you overthink, right? But yeah, your technique's got to get it down. Like if you don't get the technique down, it'll throw you off a little bit, right? So that's when you don't have enough practice. So then, yeah, there are times to practice, and when you practice, you have to think. So don't like say, oh, don't think. When you're practicing, don't think. That's not. I just want to make sure everybody understand. Like, don't misunderstand some of these tips, and kind of come back and blame the person that's giving advice and say, hey, they said to be myself. So and what I feel like right now is to jump around and not be on beat. That's not dancing. Does that make sense? Let me know if you agree or disagree. Okay. Anyways, that's the main reason I wanna kind of recap and let everybody know like my thoughts on these tips. Okay, let me switch back here so you guys see my face a little bit better. Okay, so let's move forward, shall we? I want to talk a little bit about my website. I haven't really explained this too well in the past, so I think this is something that you guys can probably use. Do I even have it up? I don't even have it up. Let me see. Can you guys see this? Let me go back and make sure you guys can actually see this. Here. All right. So this is my website. It's called Dance with Ceech. That's Dancing with Me. All right. I want to show you guys this because there's some useful information for you guys out there. First, I'm going to talk about the different ways that you guys could start learning and taking classes. First one, the free one. I always like the free classes because everybody and anybody can get started. Okay. So up here on the top, it says free dance program. I have the FTL and I have the locking fundamentals. FTL is follow leader. So basically it's for poppers, for popping. Okay. If I haven't shown you that is this, I'm doing it right now. If you click on the FTL popping series, this is Big Brother Skeet right there. So what I did is I taken some of my YouTube clips. I designed it. Okay. I'm gonna scroll down real quick, but you guys could go and check it out for yourself. It's a 30-day intensive popping program. So starting with day one, here's my popping arm video. There's the leg video. And then there's the popping drill. The popping drill basically incorporates the arms and the legs together. Okay. So right here, the daily total is about 37 minutes long. That's adding up all these videos. That's 37 minutes of just watching. Okay. Now, if you only watch and not practice, then of course you're not gonna get a lot out of it. So it really depends on how much you want to put into it. Okay. And I did call this intensive because yeah, it's kind of intensive to put that much time and effort into it. If you don't have the time to do all that stuff, just do it one day at a time. That's okay. There's no rule that says you have to do all this in 30 days. This is just for people who are ambitious, who wants to get all that stuff done. You could do it in 6 months, you know? It doesn't matter. There's no time limit on this. So go ahead and feel free to use this, guys. This is free for all of you guys to use. All right. The only thing that I ask you guys to do is give me some feedbacks. You know, you don't even have to like it if you don't like it. Give me honest feedback. Say, hey, this is cool. Or, hey, this sucks. And if you do say it sucks, let me know how I can improve, right? So that's the main idea. Guys, I've been teaching. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but this is the career that I chose. Okay. I've been teaching for over 20 years, and this is active teaching, guys. I didn't just teach like, 20 years ago and I stopped for 5 years and I taught again. I don't do workshops. I teach at a community college. So basically this is like every week, twice a week, and sometimes multiple times because I'm at multiple colleges. And the thing is, I teach the guys, because this is through a community college, so anybody could take this. I have as young as some high school kids up to, I got this man, I don't want to call him old, but he was in the 70s, so he retired. So I had to teach people, and throughout the times that I teach, I had to learn how to explain to different people, of course, different age and also different background, right? There's people who've never taken any dance class, who never even really listened to music in the past. So I had to start with rhythm, and then I had to teach some people who maybe had some trainings. Maybe they're in previous, hip hop dance groups and stuff like that. So there's so many different ways I had to figure out how to explain something that I thought it was easy to explain, but it's not that easy sometimes, depending on the background they come from. So anyways, this is a general, I guess a blueprint, if you will, on how I would teach popping. Okay. All right. So for those that want to get into locking, it's right here. The locking fundamental. Where is it? Come on. It's loading. But anyways, yeah, it's still on my website. And again, it's the same thing. I've set it for 30 days. So you guys free to check it out. All right. So if there's any questions, again, drop it in the chat so I know you guys feel free to chat with me. If there's no questions, I'm going to go over to another part. So now, here's the thing about learning from YouTube videos. Sometimes it works for the people who are, very self-disciplined. But there's a lot of people who are not self-disciplined. They need other people, right? So that comes in the group classes. So again, on my website, I try to cater to everybody. So here are the group classes. If you click on the group classes with me, if you want to do it with me, this is how you would do it. Okay, I teach at. So again, you could go through all this stuff, but basically, I teach at the community colleges. This is in the Bay Area, guys. So if you're in the Bay Area, I'm talking about the San Francisco, San Jose Bay Area, South Bay. Okay. You can hit me up. This is through Mission College, Cabrillo College, and Gavilan College. So I teach at 3 different community colleges, and you can sign up for classes through that way. And I think this is a great program because community colleges, they charge way, way less than dance studios. Okay, I know because I co-own a dance studio, and we need to, as dance studios, we need to charge more just to almost break even. And even now it's so difficult. Anyways, I don't want to get into the financial aspects of it, but this is just the facts. Okay, so for anybody who's kind of like, hey, I tried learning off of YouTube, it doesn't work, I need some people, group classes may be something that you want to look into. Now if you're not in the Bay Area, look for something around where you are. Okay, so if there's community colleges, I would highly suggest you check that out. But it's obviously very important that you know who the instructors are, right? So if the instructors don't make sense, forget it. Don't take it just because it's cheap. Take it because it's worth your time, okay? And dance studios, check out the dance studio, all right? So as far as me, I also teach at the Get Down, which is in downtown San Jose, Japantown, and I teach Monday nights, the popping class. And I live stream it for you guys. So for those of you who are not in this area that want to check it out, you guys are free to check it out. It's on my YouTube, 7 o'clock. Just come on in. All right. So what I suggest you do is if you get on YouTube, get onto my channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon. So anytime I go live, you guys are going to get that notification and you guys could jump on in. Okay. However, I want to say with that though, I won't be able to respond to you guys. I'm in class. I'm taking care of my students in class. All right. So when I do the live training sessions at home, that's when I can respond to you guys. All right. Last but not the least is the private class. Let me get over here. Where am I? So go over here. The private lessons. Obviously, private lessons are, for the people who are more serious, right? I'll tell you who I get. I get calls for these from a lot of Yelpers. You guys know Yelp, right? YELP, or Yelp. You can go on Yelp to do, to do reviews on somebody, whatever. So, anyways, people, there are some people who are just not comfortable with learning in a group setting, right? Whether you're like, hey, I wanna train more, or whether you're like, I'm too shy, I'm just afraid of other people laughing at me or whatever. I totally understand. That's why I created this for people who want it. All right. So if you want to do that, check out the website, check out all the details that I wrote about it. And if that's something that you guys are interested, hit me up on it. Private classes are definitely available for those that want it. Of course, private classes are going to be more expensive, right? Because you're asking the instructor to teach you only one-on-one, right? So anyways, check it out. If that's something that you're interested, hit me up for sure on that. I kind of want to go quickly on that. So if there's any questions, again, feel free to hit me up on it. Okay. All right. Now we're coming up to the end, so I wanna kind of wrap it up for this week. I want to also mention next week what's coming up. I'm really excited because tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing my little brother. He's not my physical brother, blood brother, but close enough because we kind of look like, I guess, I don't know. Somebody said we kind of look like. Anyways, this boy is bad. He's bad. I want to show you how bad it is. Bad as in like amazing dancer. Okay. Let's go. His name is Bionic. Am I showing this? Let me see. This is showing, right? I'm showing his Instagram. Bionic Bayani. If you don't know who he is, you ought to know. He's part of Machine Gun Funk. For the poppers, you guys should know who he is. For a while, he's been living in Thailand, I believe, but he's back. He's back in the Bay, so I haven't really been able to catch up with him with the whole COVID thing. But at the very least, I'm gonna do a quick interview with him. Okay, I'm gonna show him off. Again, all the great dancers I know are just too shy and too humble to brag about themselves, and it's my job to do it because I'm proud of this guy and he really deserves it. Okay, I'm gonna lower the dance volume down just because YouTube might flag it for copyright sound and all that stuff. So here's a quick clip of him. This is on his demo. If you don't know, he was on Cirque du Soleil, the Michael Jackson show. Right there. Dude, was that Dangerous? And you okay right there. So I'm not gonna play the entire thing. You guys could check it out yourself. All right, this is Jonathan Bayani demo reel. Okay, go check it out on his YouTube page, and also add him on Instagram. I hope he doesn't mind. He got how many followers? Dude, he got over 10,000 followers. So more the merrier for him. All right, and also I want to let you guys know on Wednesday I got another great friend. These are my funky family. I say my funky family. This is Dennis Infante, and his Instagram is Dennis versus Fu. Funny guy, right? Tremendous locker. If you guys just do some search from him, incredible locker, but also incredible DJ as well. So you're gonna learn about his dance history coming Wednesday. So mark that down, and we're trying to schedule it for 2 p.m. Okay, both Bionics is gonna be 2 p.m. Monday. Dennis is 2 p.m. Wednesday. Okay, 2 p.m. Wednesday for Dennis. And let me see if I can show you a little bit of his dance. Can you guys see this? All right, you guys can see this. So here is, search for Dennis Infante Judge Showcase Crystallize 2018. This is a really fun routine that he did. You guys should check it out for sure. Check it out, okay? And I'm gonna do one more interview next week. This is my brother Ron Lacerna. He's part of Mind Tricks, the group that I used to dance with, right? And he is now a realtor. Look at him. Look at, nice and handsome right there. He's a realtor. But also, I want him to talk about his dance history, because before Mind Tricks, he was Jughead. And if you guys heard of Gary Kendall, you guys should know Mind Tricks and Jughead. And that's where Ron has good history with Gary. So I'm going to talk about that with him on Friday. Again, it's 2 p.m. So definitely catch us there. All right? Any questions, guys? I feel like I did a lot of recap. It's a lot of me talking and I'm trying not to do a lot of ums. I was telling my kids that I might take a voice lesson class to diminish or erase all my ums, so then you guys don't have to deal with all that stuff. All right. So that is it. Okay, that was a recap from last week, and you guys should know what's coming up next week. And starting Monday, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock, I'm gonna have an interview with my boy Bionic, and then weeknights, Monday through Friday, we are going to do our popping drills where we work on our arms, chest, neck, shoulder, all the different aspects of the popping while we're sitting down. Okay. Eventually, we're gonna move up to, standing up and getting different angles with our legs and everything. Okay. All right. If there's no questions, guys, thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate you guys, and look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.